Hi guys, and welcome back to my YouTube. It has been so insanely long that I no longer even live where I lived the last time I recorded a video. I guess before I even get into the video, I guess I owe you guys kind of like an explanation and like what's been going on and what type of content I am planning on creating in the future. So I moved out of my grandma's house in August-ish, September-ish. Yes, September. August, September-ish. And after I moved out, I moved in with my caregiver. That is going well. It was rocky, but we're doing great now. Our relationship is amazing. So there's been a lot of different changes. I also found out I have a biological sister on my mom's side, which I had known nobody or anything about my mom's side of the family at all. So that was really big information to take in, and she is one of my best friends now, and I don't know what I would do without her. But as for content, I am going to start doing maybe some Adri vlogs of like a day in my life, or what I did for my morning routine, longer videos than I can make on TikTok. Also, I wanted to know and hear from you guys what you guys want to see as well. So I'm going to be doing a Q&A on my Instagram of different ideas you guys want to see from me in the future for YouTube, and for my TikTok if you guys have any ideas for that as well. I get these type of questions quite often, so I wanted to dedicate a video as to why other people may use different types of gear and what gear in a whole is. I wanted to start off with one of the things that I've seen most popular online, which would be things like adult-sized pacifiers or pacifiers in general. Yes, overall, for me, this is not for everyone, but for me, they help a lot. But this right here, this little piece of plastic, does not determine whether or not you are a regressor or not, or how you should cope with your trauma. Just because you don't have one of these does not make you any less than anyone else. To start off, pacifiers in general, they help me with oral stimulation and overstimulation, which can cause me to compulsively pick my lips, biting the inner parts of my mouth, and that causes sores and bleeding, and I've had serious infections due to it. So this is a great way of, when that happens, to prevent it from happening again. And it gives me something else to do with my mouth while I'm upset or stressed out. And it's definitely great for anxiety purposes and panic attacks. This is something that has been one of my go-tos for a couple years now. Something else I want to make known. You do not have to have a deco pacifier to be valid. Just because you have one that looks like this does not make you any less than the person who has one that looks like this. They're all the same at the end of the day. I personally like these and make them and buy them just for the sole purpose of for special interest characters or just color combinations that I like. I made this one. It is a Corgicorn, and it says Wild One, and it's rainbow, and I made it around Pride because I didn't have anything Pride themed. And I was like, what's better to make for Pride than something with a rainbow trim and a Corgicorn pin in pastel rainbow? So these are no different than this. They are the exact same thing at the end of the day. They're both for stimulant purposes, and you do not need one to be a regressor. Something else I see a lot online are things like this. This is called Choulery. Now, this is not necessarily anything to do with age regression or regression in a whole. It is actually a stim. It is for stimming. My therapist personally recommended it for my autism and my ADHD while I was in school, and this was a lifesaver because you can't just have a pacifier out in your mouth in school, especially if you go to public school. I thankfully went to an alternative high school, so pretty much anything you do is acceptable as long as you're not hurting anyone else or yourself. So Choulery is really great, another great stim technique. If your parents aren't okay with you having a pacifier, this is a great alternative. They're really great for chewing and biting, and it prevents you from biting on things that maybe you shouldn't be biting on or biting on yourself. I really, really like these for public and for when I'm around family or school. They're really discreet and no one really puts together if you're a regressor why you have it. It's pretty much just the more socially acceptable version of a teether. For example, here is an actual baby teether that I have that I really like versus one of these little textile stimming chewies. These are really great. So are these though, same idea. But one's obvious for a baby and the other is just for anybody. Now, I personally use these as well with the jewelry, but these are more for when I'm just in my personal own home. These are, again, a really great thing for if I'm biting on things that I shouldn't be, so this is a great alternative to that. This really can't hurt anything. Biting on something really hard or my skin, that can be very damaging versus these. They're really easy to get, but if your parents will find it or you're worried about them finding out, ask them for jewelry for maybe multitasking, or you like to chew on your hoodie strings and you want to stop a habit or a nail biting habit. These are awesome though. I really like these. They're just a little more firm than the jewelry is for me. So for me, bottles are another one of my favorite gear items. These for me are for the sole purpose of they make me feel really small, and it's a comfort item when I have specifically apple juice or milk in it. And when I am actively already regressed, they're great for preventing spills, because I know for me personally, I become slightly more clumsy, and I'm already pretty clumsy. That, or when I have it in my lap and I stand up too fast, because I didn't think it doesn't make a huge mess. So these are really great for keeping things clean. Great alternatives for these are the water bottles with the straws for bottles or sippy cups. Bottles are a little harder to substitute than sippy cups are because you can get water bottles that are very similar to sippy cups. A bottle is more of you kind of either are able to get it and you have one, or you just get a water bottle that's similar to a sippy cup until you can have one. I used to get mine at the dollar store for really cheap when I'd go out with friends, and I just pick one up at the dollar store. Because I personally don't mind using the baby teats, even though it's not good for your mouth. But I already have messed up teeth anyway. And that is not from using pacifiers or using bottles. It is a birth defect that I was born with. My whole front jaw is completely out of socket. So that's why I have an insane lisp and my teeth don't go together. It has nothing to do with this stuff. But using baby pacifiers for long periods of time can do that to your teeth. Don't ever, ever, ever use a baby pacifier for longer than about an hour at a time, because you will extensively put a lot of damage on your jaw. Another huge comfort item for me are stuffed animals. It doesn't specifically matter which stuffed animal, it's just stuffed animals in general. For me, when I was at my lowest points and no one would listen to me, they would. These have been pretty much my friends, my best friends, my main listener since I was a biological child. So there is nothing better to me than them. In my head, they are living, they do have feelings, so if you're gonna say anything mean, I'm gonna cover her ears so that she cannot hear your hatred. But on a serious note, stuffed animals are a huge comfort item for me personally, and they are for many other people. Sometimes it's just you don't have anyone else to listen, and they do listen. And sometimes they're not just stuffed animals, they are your friends. So these have had a huge impact on my life and my regression in a whole, but you don't need them to be valid. Another huge comfort thing for me is wearing hoodies like this. This is a 3X hoodie, and I am definitely more like biologically just a large to wear clothes that fit me right, but I have to get things that are huge. So 2 3X hoodies are a huge comfort item for me because they make me feel extremely small. I like onesies, I have a few, but at the same time I have extreme body image issues and weight issues, and I've gained weight and lost weight and gained weight, and I've gained weight again. So my body isn't exactly at the most confident point for onesies, so hoodies that are really huge are a huge plus for me. Now for me, this is the most important one. It is my blanket. Now this blanket I've had for like 5 or 6 years, just this one. But the ones attached to it are pieces from my biological childhood blanket. It's in different pieces. That's the original string from one of it fell apart, and then another part of it. I have it pinned on here so that it doesn't disintegrate any more than it already has. But this has been with me since I was a biological child. It is the only thing I have from my biological childhood. So that is very important to me. Blankets are a huge thing for me in general, but this one specifically goes with me everywhere at all times at any point in time. Kind of don't really care if people judge me for it. But the security blanket thing, that's real. So I have a blankie, so this is a huge thing for me. I also have a lot of kid toys and little ears and collars and things that just make me feel cute and small. But your regression doesn't need any of this stuff at all. I personally have it because it's stuff that I have seen has benefited me over the years. So I kind of fuel it a lot. But at the end of the day, the only thing you really need is your mind. And your mind is the source of how you are coping. It has nothing to do with the things around you. Yes, they may help encourage it a little and they might help it a little bit, but it isn't what makes your regression who you are. But that's all I have for this video. I'm going to do some polls on my Instagram to try to figure out some more content ideas. But I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hopefully will not disappear again for a really long time. So I will see you guys in the next video.